Good morning all on the platform and compliments for the new year.
Good morning, ma'am. Compliments.
Ya va. Va.
Happy New Year, members.
Happy New Year, Honorable.
Happy New Year and congrats. Compliments for the new year, Comrade Baungi.
Compliments, comrades.
Thank you very much,
Compliments.
Rachel, and all the best to you too.
Thank you,
Thank
compliments,
you.
honorable
Thank
members.
you. Thank you, members. The same
Thank
to
you.
you.
Good morning, honorable members. We are still trying to locate the chairperson. I'm not too sure, maybe he's struggling with connection. Just a moment. Members, thank you. Chairperson is logging in. Had a bit of a challenge at the gate, but he's in his office now trying to log in. Thank you.
Good morning, honorable members. Can you hear me?
Morning, Chair, yes.
Oh, my
Loud and
apologies,
clear.
honorable members. We had a serious problem at the entrance here of Parliament. We waited there for more than 15, 20 minutes. I'm so sorry to join you so late. Good morning, honorable members. Are we ready to start the meeting? Can you hear me?
We can hear you,
Yes,
Chairman. You can
we
start.
can hear.
Okay, thanks a
can.
lot, honorable members. Welcome back, honorable members, from our well-deserved holidays. Thanks God that all of us are back, safe and sound, and we are ready to hit the road running. Honorable members, we called this meeting today on a Zoom in order for us to actually look into the issue of the the oversight which we had planned to undertake during the course of this week, and the developments around that. And obviously, the second item would actually be to look into the impact of that to our program going forward. Honorable members, as you will all recall, that it was the end of last year, we decided to undertake an oversight visit to KwaZulu-Natal. And whilst we were in the process of doing so, developments actually, happened around the Ingonyama Trust Board, and which actually necessitated that we meet, and indeed we did meet over the Zoom, and then we decided to actually bring forward our planned oversight visit to KwaZulu-Natal in order to actually attend to the developments that were taking place within the Ingonyama Trust Board. And indeed, we then decided to actually undertake our oversight to KwaZulu-Natal.
Recording in progress.
During the week of, during this week in January. And then necessary logistical arrangements were then, effected. And the committee specifically asked me to communicate with His Majesty the King, the sole trustee, to actually begin to make, those, arrangements that the committee meets with him when we were there. Whilst we were doing all of that, I think it was on the 2nd of December when a letter was signed by the king, dissolving the board. Whilst we were actually looking at that, he then fired the chief executive of the ITB together with the CFO. Of course, he had before that appointed a team of lawyers from Mpumalanga to actually be the ones, and he gave them the powers of attorney to run the affairs of the ITB. Whilst we were watching all those developments, the minister also then came into the fray, issued a statement, in a way reminding the king that indeed he does not actually have those powers to dissolve the board, because the powers of establishing and dissolving the board reside with the executive authority, in this instance, the minister. Then the committee, then decided that we should actually meet with the minister to keep us, up to speed as to exactly what's going on and where are the issues now. Then we organized a visual meeting. I think it was a week or two ago. And on the day, the minister was on his way out to a trip abroad. And indeed, we met. And then he briefed us, reiterating his stand that the minister, or no, the king actually did not have powers to dissolve the board. And he briefed us that he had written to the king, but he had not received any response, owing to the fact that the king at the time was in seclusion. And then therefore he was hoping that once the king is out of seclusion, and also him having come back from Germany, he would be able to actually pursue the matter further. So we met the minister because we were preparing to go to meet with the king and the ITB board. I mean, at the time, during all of those things happening, the administration was busy actually also with logistical arrangements in terms of permissions that need to be obtained from the House Chair and all other arrangements, including budgets and things like those. I also kept in touch with the House Chair because I was actually trying to persuade him to speed up the process of giving us permission to proceed with our oversight. And he actually did not indicate any kind of problem with that, except that he said he was going to consult to get the speaker also up to speed. I think last week, yeah, it was on Thursday, if not Friday, Thursday last week, we received a call. I received a call from the House Chairperson saying that he had consulted with the Speaker and they agreed that perhaps the timing was not good. They felt that we needed to wait until one, the minister is back, and secondly, the president is back, because both the minister and president at the time, I think the president was out in Davos, and they felt strongly that the president needed to actually be informed about our going to meet with the king, because there are sensitivities that they feel needed to be taken care of. Meanwhile, I had actually written to the king asking for an audience with him on behalf of the committee, because we had planned that before we visit anyone else, we would touch base with the king first. So I had made that arrangement of asking for the audience with the king. I think then obviously the House Chair came back to say, well, they have those problems and they feel that we need to postpone the oversight visit to a date immediately after SONA, the State of the Nation address, because they felt that maybe it would actually give time to other protocol arrangements to be made. So I think that is that, honorable members. I actually we felt that this meeting was necessary to actually report back to members why the oversight visit was postponed and the circumstances surrounding that postponement, and also to chart the way forward in relation to our oversight, our planned oversight to KwaZulu-Natal. That's the far I can take this matter, honorable members. I will recognize hands for further inputs. Thank you.
Sorry, Chairperson. Chair,
Yeah.
before taking hands, there's a request from media, but as you speak and members speak, perhaps switch on the videos just for the moment when they speak. Thank you.
Okay, I recognize the hand of Honorable Bonkos Matigizela. Honorable Matigizela.
I'm trying to put on this video, Chair, that is requested by
Are you succeeding, Honorable Matigizela, to put on the video? Honorable Matigizela? Honorable
look-
Matigizela, are you there?
The system
Honor-
says, Chair, the system says when you switch on the video, the host has disabled that. So maybe it must be open from the host side, the video.
Can that be arranged, Cynthia, if you are around, if you are
He's
part
good,
of the meeting?
he's good, Chairman. He is good. He's
I'm back, Chair.
Oh, okay. Honorable
Chair.
Matigizela, you have the floor.
Chair, thank you very much for that feedback as to what transpired, which led to us not embarking on our oversight visit. Chair, I do think that it's very unfortunate that the House Chair and the Speaker took this decision on the 11th hour, because the situation surrounding the Ingonyama Trust and what has transpired, since last year, as you said, necessitated this committee to really embark on this oversight visit. And I do think that the process that the president has to take is a completely different process. I think for ourselves as this committee, we wanted to embark on a, if I can call it, again, a fact-finding mission, because we wanted to understand the reasoning behind the actions of the king so that we are better informed as this committee. Because we have a role to play in terms of assisting to resolve the challenges that exist in the Ingonyama Trust. But also remember, we had planned this visit way before this whole saga, and I'm not sure whether the chairperson was informed, because part of our reason to want to embark on this visit was to engage various stakeholders and deal with the challenges in Ingonyama Trust that, predated the actions of His Majesty. So I do think really that the decision that was taken by the House Chair in consultation with the Speaker was an incorrect one, because the impression here is given that our visit was triggered by the actions of the King, which is not true. So I think, Chair, we still need to embark on this visit, because as members of this committee, we have to be really on top of our game in terms of understanding the dynamics surrounding what is happening here. So I certainly hope that the chairperson, together with the House Chair, will further engage on this matter so that we embark on this visit, because I think it's very, very important for us to play our role, because the role of Parliament and the role of the executive in the form of President should not be conflated. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Matigizela. I recognize the hand of Honorable Kitama. Honorable Kitama, you have the floor.
Thanks, Chair, and also greetings to colleagues as we return in this new year. And also thank Chair for the comprehensive report that you have provided. Chair, it is true that it is a bit concerning that we are unable to interface with ISILO and other related role players. However, it might be important for us as a committee to take proactive steps by firstly understanding the source of this problem. it is clear that there's a tension in terms of the law that says the land belongs to the king, but he has no administrative or executive powers to appoint his own board. That is the source of the tension. That is the crux of the matter. So we need to be proactive in resolving that particular problem so that there can be order brought in the affairs of the Ingonyama Trust. Now, the challenge is that the legislation that deals with the powers of the Ingonyama Trust Board is a provincial one. It belongs to KwaZulu-Natal legislature. Of course, then there is the Management Act, the PFMA, which is of national competence. That might give us some kind of a leeway in terms of aligning these legislations. But it seems to me that's where we should go. Because as we repeat, we can't allow the Ingonyama Trust to fail. Because if that happens, it will be a serious weapon in the hands of those that are opposed to land being returned to our people, to simply say, you see, when Black people have land, they are unable to manage things. But this crisis is really the making of this tension between the Ingonyama Trust Act and the PFMA. But that act also creates the tension by splitting responsibilities and powers. And I can imagine as a king, I could be highly offended that the land that belongs to my people, I have no powers to appoint administrators of that land. It is an insult, in fact, Chair, that that legislation has been constructed in that manner. Because indeed, in effect, it denudes the powers of the king and renders him a mere induna. We cannot allow that. It's offensive. And that explains the anger of the king and how he has acted. We have a responsibility, therefore, to resolve that matter by making sure that legislation recognizes the powers of the king and respectfully gives him those responsibilities over the administration of the land of his people. It seemed to me, Chair, that we must go there in order to address this matter. I thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Honorable Kutama. I recognize the hand of Honorable Mkaka. Honorable Mkaka.
Good morning, Honorable Chair, honorable members, and our support officials. Compliments of the new season to all of you, honorable members. Chair, let's welcome your feedback. But I thought you'll be able to say, after we have consulted or you have written to the king, you did get the feedback or a response from the king. And I lost you at that stage when you were indicating that you did write as per our decision as a portfolio committee to the king, but you were disturbed by this intervention by the Speaker's office and chair of chairs. Maybe you have to conclude that part, whether you did get the feedback from the king or not. So I want us to pay attention to this visit, or this visit will ever be necessary. And not because we're concerned about the king only. We're concerned by our people, the stakeholders of the area, and therefore this visit is not restricted to the office of the king. And deliberately so. We were attempting to listen to everybody involved in that program. And therefore, for me, to support and the fact that we still need this visit and accept perhaps the post-SONA arrangement so that we comply to the intervention of the Speaker of the Chair of Chairs office. It's unfortunate, Chair, because many things are happening very fast in that domain, and surely it will paint a negative picture about the role of the portfolio committee failing to intervene on time on matters of this nature. However, it's not out of our own making. There are rules in the House that we're following. Chair, and therefore, for me, it is to accept the proposal that we visit. We take this visit post-SONA arrangement, but immediately after SONA, we make an arrangement of visiting. It has got implication in the question of requesting meeting and postpone timeously, even to other stakeholders who have got programs to run in their own space. So for me, Chair, I was going to suggest that we accept your report, welcome your report, but also ensure that we continue with this visit because it's necessary to go there with an open mind. Because we want to go there with an open mind, both in form and in content, so that we listen to everybody. Then that listening will culminate into us looking, the imperatives of the law, whether the law is assisting the development of that program or not, so that we come back and knock heads and begin to make a proposal as to exactly how we believe there are constraints and that are undermining the kingdom or the parliament. As far as but that must be a culmination of our visit as far as that is concerned. Thanks, Chair.
Well, thanks. Thank you very much, Honorable Mkhaga. Indeed, the oversight was not only about the king, but we had prioritized actually meeting with the king because of the developments that were actually happening so thick and fast within the ITB, so that we felt that we needed to actually touch base with the king first. And then we had lined up a whole range of stakeholders that we had wanted to meet, because we had planned that immediately after the audience with the king, we would then meet with the ITB, the board itself. And then, critically, we had also planned to meet the beneficiaries of the Ingonyama Trust, in this case, traditional leadership. So we had actually, lined up the whole range of stakeholders that we had wanted to meet in relation to the IT in the Ingonyama Trust matter. And honorable members would remember that we had also wanted to go to Umhlabialingana in Jozini to actually meet those cooperatives there that are actually doing a lot of farming around the Jozini Dam, and also to actually get some information on the progress of the sugar mill, a proposed sugar mill that the minister promised to those farmers. So it was quite a range of issues and stakeholders that we had planned to visit. So that I get the feeling of the members that we need to continue, to actually to push for this visit, so that all of these people that we had planned to meet, we are actually also able to meet. Honorable members, I recognize the hand of Mlindi. I don't understand. I don't know who Honorable Mlindi.
It's Mlindi Nana, Chairman.
Thanks. I'm sorry, honorable member. Yes, you have
no
the
worries.
floor.
Thanks very much, and good morning to everyone, and Happy New Year to all of you colleagues. Chairman, let me also join the bandwagon in welcoming your report, as it pertains to the developments within the ITB. Colleagues, you will recall that this oversight was supposed to have been done towards the end of last year. But because of conflicting diaries and tight schedules, we couldn't do it. And we couldn't do it. We then agreed as the committee to move it to the last week of January. At the time, when we moved it to the last week of January, tensions were not at this level, and events were not unfolding at such a rapid pace. We thought, well, we can buy time and go in January. Chairman, as they say, hindsight is the best teacher. In hindsight, how I wish we had gone there in November, probably because had we had done so, we would have played our role in trying to quell the tempers, in trying to lower down the temperature in the ITB. But be that as it may, here we are. We didn't go. We wanted to go in January, and I fully agree with Honorable Madikizela that it's rather unfortunate that as members of Parliament we have been delayed in doing our work because of insensitivities and all of that kind of stuff, surrounding this situation. I can only hope, Chairman, that the reason for us not to go in January is said to be insensitivities around this matter. This does not imply that this committee can actually be insensitive or we are inconsiderate of the situation or its sensitivity. And at the very worst, I hope this does not mean that the committee could have been reckless if we had gone there end of January. Because quite frankly, I do not understand between end of January and shortly after SONA, which is next week, by the way. We were supposed to have gone this week. SONA is next week, and we might go week after next, which is rather impossible because we'll be debating the State of the Nation address the following week. I don't see why are we delayed? Why are we gagged? Because events are unfolding at a rapid pace in Ingonyama Trust. I thought, Chairman, I needed to raise my displeasure about this, and then hopefully you can raise it also in your meetings as chairpersons of committees with the chair of chairs. And lastly, what really bothers me, the more we delay on this, the more narratives are being peddled. Narratives like the portfolio committee wants to to hold the king accountable. We all know it's false. None of us ever spoke about it. We never wanted to hold the king accountable. All we wanted to visit the king and hear his side of the story and see where we can help. So I'm saying these kind of delays will forever perpetuate these false narratives. Thanks, Chairman.
Thank you, Honorable Nana. I'm happy that you touching on that point of the false narrative that we had intended to go and hold the king accountable. No, as Honorable Member said before, all we were going to do, and we are still going to do that, is to actually be to find out, to give the king an ear of exactly what's going on. Unless we also listen to him, we will not have the complete picture of what is going on there. So clearly, our going to meet the king was nothing more than just fact-finding mission, so that we actually are comprehensively informed from both sides of the conflict, because we are still going to meet the board. We could not meet the board without having met the king, because what one is very careful about is that this committee should not be seen to have taken any side in the conflict, because that will then destroy our chances of actually making any meaningful intervention. So that is what one why we are actually doing the hambagahle on this matter. We are being careful about every step that we are taking, and I had thought we were extremely careful and we were on the right track. Honorable Mkhaga actually asked whether the king had actually responded. Well, formally in the form of a letter, no, he had not responded, but he had sent emissaries to tell me that he is prepared to meet with us, if possible, on the 30th of which is tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. If the 30th is tomorrow, it would have been tomorrow. So the king was not averse to meet with the committee. He was prepared to meet with us. In fact, he appreciated that that opportunity because clearly, colleagues, the minister rightfully, articulated the position of the law in public. And but the perception out there is that there is already a standoff between the king and the minister. So our going there, our intervention was actually going to ease that kind of tension, because the minister, as an executive authority, has to actually do something, and our role as Parliament actually is to oversight the activities of the minister in this matter. So it is important that the standoff actually is addressed in a way that will enable the communication to continue between the king and the minister to resolve this impasse between the king and his board. So I think we did up to now. We actually have done so well in managing this issue. So I am looking forward to an opportunity to meet physically with the House Chair, because then he would be able to articulate frankly and candidly with me on exactly where did they see actually, challenges in our going to meet with the king and the other stakeholders. I recognize the hand of Honorable Matthias. Matthias.
Greetings,
Thank you, Honorable
Chair.
Matthias. Yes.
Yeah, no, thank you, Honorable Chair, for the opportunity, and greetings to fellow members and colleagues. Well, and let me also join colleagues for thanking you, expressing our greatest appreciation for convening this meeting, which follows a meeting we had about 2 weeks ago on the same matter. Appreciating that we couldn't convene a physical meeting on account of a range of other considerations and commitments by members. Colleagues have expressed their views on this matter, and they have expressed their views on their disappointment in respect of our oversight having been delayed or forestalled for whatever reason, unbeknown to ourselves, except for the House Chairperson. And I agree with Honorable Matikizela that our mandate for exercising oversight over the minister and the executive and all entities that falls under the department, including the Ingonyama Trust Board, vis-a-vis the mandate of the executive, or even the management of Parliament, in this case, the House Chairperson, the Speaker, and everyone else who manages the daily function of Parliament, should not be conflated with the work of the committee. Of course, the committee is the sub-branch of Parliament, but those who runs the administration of Parliament should really not forestall or frustrate the work of the portfolio committee due to lack of appreciation of the nature of the issues before us and the urgency with which these issues ought to be attended to. I think as you will be meeting with the House Chair, Honorable Chairperson, please convey our disappointment in him or them as an institution. Because there was no reason whatsoever for us to subject the work of the portfolio committee to whatever program of the president or even the minister. We don't know if the president had any intention of meeting with the king. And even if there was such a program, it had got no bearing on the work of the portfolio committee. We could not be subordinated under the program of the executive. It is wrong. It had to be condemned. Now, with the information you are sharing with us that His Majesty the King was willing to meet with us on the 30th, tomorrow, we have now been deprived of that opportunity of seeing and meeting and hearing out the King, His Majesty. We may not even be so sure whether such an opportunity will be granted in the nearest future. So those who manages Parliament's daily administrative work, we must be sensitized about cultural dynamics, which some of them may not be exposed to. Once the King has agreed to meet with us, we have got no authority to postpone or to say, no, not today, but tomorrow. It is just plain wrong. So a lot have already been said. Our interest really is to ensure that we bring stability in the work of the Ingonyama Trust, which is of importance because it has to carry on with its fiduciary responsibilities and meet the obligations, including financial obligations, which at the end of the day the Ingonyama Trust Board will have to appear before the Portfolio Committee to report on its annual performance plan and financial statements and stuff like that. I doubt if the suspension or the dissolution or the purported dissolution of the Ingonyama Trust and the suspension of the officials there is still in force. And if it is still in force and they have been barred from entering the premises of the Ingonyama Trust, are they able to perform their day-to-day functions, prepare reports, as later in the year they will be expected to come and present their performance? Are such issues that would want us to, as speedily as possible, Honorable Chair, go to KZN and meet with all relevant stakeholders and ensure that the process is finalized. Lastly, in the last meeting we had with the minister on his way out to Germany, he expressed his intention to appoint a committee of investigation to look into all aspects of concerns resulting into this stalemate in the Ingonyama Trust. We perhaps have to ask you, Chair, to engage with the minister, find as to the extent to which that process is, and if that process will require terms and references, and if such a document which terms and references has been developed, we ought to know the scope of the work of such a investigation committee, which the minister has the powers to appoint, so that we look into it if it's the right way to go, which I suspect and I want to believe it is the right way to go. We need also to interface with that process. With those few words, Honorable Chair, thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Honorable Matthias. I would like to recognize Honorable Nyambose, Honorable Mtetwa.
Yes, greetings, Chair, and thanks for the opportunity, and greetings to fellow members and compliments, and to our media fraternity and officials. We are now in a legal paradox space as a committee. I then think we need to look into laws that are granting us permission to exercise our role, and we must utilize those. I would suggest that the Chair just follow up with the King if tomorrow is still available to meet with us. Then we evoke certain legal clauses that will allow us to continue to engage with the King, because there is a part in law that says audi alterem partem, which means hear the other side of the story as well. And if the other party is already availing him or herself for an audience, that audience must be taken as an opportunity on our part, because we are in the middle. And where possible, let's look into the logistical arrangement, whether if we are dependent on the administration of Parliament for us to realize our appointment with the King when he grants us to do that. Alternatively, let's find other pockets of resources and meet the King if the King says he is standing for us to meet with him, because I heard the word there are sensitivities involved. It looks like the administration of Parliament, those that you've engaged with, they are privy to something that the committee may not be privy to, of which then now they would like to have a a first start on them engaging, and once they go in as the executive, automatically it will nullify our engagement. Whereas ours, it's a day-to-day work of the portfolio committee to mediate exactly in cases like this. And you are right, we can't meet now the board, which the king has already acted on them, if we still want to meet the king tomorrow. So we have to meet the king with or without the permission of the administration. And it would not be ultra vires of us to go and meet the king, because the king would have invited us to do that. It will be actually an offense to the king if we don't respond. So can we take the opportunity, because it's an olive branch on our side, but in future, in our meetings, we may then have to do a review of the legislation governing Ingonyama Trust, because as my counterpart has put right, Ubabum Klitama, is that there was a rush of taking the powers of regulating Ingonyama Trust from province to national, yet this is taking place at a provincial level, because it's now extending a legal expectation for other provinces that if national has a treatment that is giving to KwaZulu-Natal because of Ingonyama Trust, the question is, where are other prototype Ingonyama Trust in other provinces which are not there because their land was agreed upon during Cortes that it will be centralized under the Land Affairs Department, but at least in KZN only, we managed to use that as a leverage for us to participate in the 94 election. So then it means it's an exclusive situation of KZN, which then it should be dealt with within those parameters, and the king has a right, because he is coming from the leadership that actually created this structure, and he understands how it was created, and he understands his powers, the manner in which it was crafted. If we act ultra vires on this matter, it is already challenging another question of Orania in the Northern Cape to say you have a similar situation. It's just that it is not crafted in the manner of Ingonyama Trust. But the question is, we never see government engaging Orania and their activities in their day-to-day work. And the question will then be, how do you deal with that situation if the king utilizes his powers? So we have to mediate on this, and we must discuss it, and the laws must be amended in a manner that you grant powers to whoever that is. If you grant to the minister as an accounting officer, where are the similar powers granted to the king? Because the crafters of Ingonyama Trust was granting the king the powers, but our legislation came in with appendix of PFMA to say you must account at national as an entity, but it's the only entity that only exists in one province. It's not existing in other, unless we are evoking a debate on the land of other provinces, which was never discussed in the Cortes process. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Thank you so much. I recognize the hand of Honorable Matigizela. Is the hand a new one or the old hand?
It is a new one, Chair.
Okay.
I think I was prompted by my brother here, Unyambos. Look, Chair, I think I want to slightly disagree with Unyambos, because I don't think it will be possible for us to see the king tomorrow, because obviously there are logistical arrangements that need to be made. But I do want to suggest, Chair, and I think this meeting must really pronounce itself on the way forward. I do want to suggest that maybe, given the fact that the king had indicated, but I don't remember the chairperson saying that the king had confirmed. But I think we must then, write a letter, apologizing profusely for failing to meet the king this week, as it was the plan. But I think we must be very clear as to when we are going there. And I think my colleague, Honorable Member Nana, indicated that next week and the week after will be impossible because it's on next week and there's a debate the following week. But I think, Chair, we must be clear that we need to go there as soon as possible. And I think this meeting must at least, make some suggestions as to when we can go there. But also, Chair, as I said, we write the letter to apologize to the King. And once we agree on the week that we are planning to go there, we again, make this appeal to His Majesty to meet him or the people who are representing him. And then lastly, Chair, I think we must look at perhaps slightly amending our program in terms of the stakeholders that we are going to meet, because I think it's going to be crucial to meet the Provincial Portfolio Committee of Local Government that deals with Ingonyama Trust and possibly with the MEC. Because I think they are crucial if you look at the cross-cutting nature of the legislations that are governing Ingonyama Trust, so that we can really achieve what we want to achieve. Because as this committee, as some of the members said, we want to bring harmony in the stakeholders as this committee so that we approach these issues with the sensitivities that they deserve, because ultimately we want these matters resolved. The issues of legislations that are not talking to each other, I think, is another matter altogether that we can discuss as the committee together with the minister and other stakeholders. But for the purposes of this visit, we must really come back, having achieved harmony, amongst the stakeholders, so that we can be able to deal with the challenges, particularly the challenges of the board, together singing from the same hymn book. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Matigizela. Honorable Dr. Matlasi. Honorable Matlasi.
Thank you so much, Chair. Greetings, Chair. Greetings, honorable members. Let me first also welcome the report. Chairperson, I thought that this meeting is about the way forward, and we are also going to discuss or maybe come up with a date for the oversight. So I think that is what we must focus on, because we are sitting here and the things are getting worse. So we're looking at the last week of the month. Maybe it can be possible 22 to 28, so that we know that we don't delay further. So let's be more focusing on what must be done, because we have delayed already. A lot has happened since the last time we spoke. So let's treat this matter as urgent. And I also agree with the Honorable Matigizela when he says we must also write the letter to indicate that due to administration, we could not come this week, so that we show respect also to Isilo. And furthermore, Honorable Matiasi spoke also about the issue of the minister appointing a committee of investigation. We need an update on that one, so that we actually know what is the scope of such investigation, so that there's no conflict here. Because our role is to be neutral and ensure that there's no conflict, and the minister and the king, they smoke on the same pipe. And those are the things we must focus on, the actual meeting, so that we can give both sides of the story, we hear what is, to hear their side. So I submit.
Thank you so much, Honorable Matlase. Indeed, we need, I would invite members to please focus on the way forward. By way of suggestions, I really feel also that we we need now to be focused on what do we do going forward. Thank you so much. I recognize the hand of Honorable Posov.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I just want to add my voice to the several voices that we need to conduct this visit as soon as possible. I know that in the last week of February, there's also, what shall we say, a round of oversight visits because in the Committee for Science and Innovation, where I'm also involved, we are going to the Northern Cape, to the SKA and the Observatory in Sutherland in that week. As a matter of fact, I would like to prioritize this visit as I think it is of great political importance. And the importance of it is that it is about how to accommodate the cultural variety within the Republic of South Africa and where the lines or the distinction is between what a cultural authority has to say and has authority over and what the central authority also does. Now, in that sense, I want to connect with something that was said that is actually not on the agenda at all, and that is that the Honorable Mtetwa referred to Irania, which I don't fully understand. And I thought I would like to ask him in this committee, but for him to maybe prepare something in which he sets out the similarities and where he thinks that there's something to be some investigation to be conducted in that regard, which I then as quite another unrelated matter would also like to promote. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you so much, Honorable Posov. I see, can I recognize the hand of Honorable Lucas?
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Good morning. And good morning to everyone. And also, I want to wish you all a blessed 2025, since it's my first time that I'm speaking in this meeting of this morning. But I think I've broadly been covered by the fact that we should be focusing on what then will be the way forward. And thank you, Chairperson, also for briefing us properly on what actually transpired before we reach this point. But also, I want to agree that we need to really deal with this issue as soon as possible. But then also, Chair, I think we should also agree to continue with our oversight over the Ingonyama Trust Board, as we have agreed before, because there is still some outstanding business and we need to give attention to that outstanding business. But in the meantime, also trying to make sure that we have an opportunity to do the proper oversight that we have decided upon. But also, I want also to bring to your attention that the last week of February, there is also an oversight visit from the side of the Agricultural Portfolio Committee, in which some of us are serving. And usually I give preference to this because we are less women in this committee than in that other committee. But it would be good if we can be allowed to finalize that, but come up with a date that will not actually coincide with any other business of some of the committee members, because we need to give our full attention to this specific issue. And I don't think we also need to drag too long before we try to also do our part to make sure that there is conclusion on this specific, very controversial issue. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Thank you so much, Honorable Lucas. I see the hand from the iPad of Kaya. I don't know who that is, but Honorable Kaya's iPad.
Thanks, Chair. It's Honorable Mashala.
Oh, okay. Oh, thank you, Honorable Mashala.
Thanks, my colleagues. I think, Chair, my input would we need to check my date on February, early date, because can postpone oversights 2 times. It's not about Ingonyama Trust issue. What about those communities that are waiting for us, especially in Josini, all over in KZN? So, and we need to intervene on those, and also we need to make sure that we attend this thing of Ingonyama Trust. We know the rules and the role of the portfolio. We have chair and we all members of the portfolio committee. We can't just in less than 2 days the oversight is cancelled, and then ngathi asikho serious, ngathi siphethe, ngathi uyabona asikho serious. Even the king nama-member nama-board azobona ukuthi i-portfolio committee ayinama powers, ayinalutho, akwazi ukushintsha same time. Tomorrow bekufanele sibone i-king, and then today we are not going to see the king. What si-committee njani? Check, siyacela check house chair ukumbikela ukuthi sibuhlungu ngale nto ukuthi awukwazi ushisa now. Last year it was early December kufanele ngabe sishaye oversight in KZN, and now end of manje kufanele ngabe oversight, asikho oversight, kanti portfolio yethu injani? Thank you, Chair.
Well, thank you, Honorable Member. I perfectly understand your feelings. Can we then focus on the possible week during which we can actually take this oversight, so that the necessary logistical arrangements can then be effected? And I want to note with appreciation the contribution made by members, especially when they said even though there may be clashes with other committees in which they serve, but they would prioritize this committee. So can we then look at, there was a suggestion of the last week of Feb, which is from Monday 24 until Friday 28. Can we focus on that? Thank you. I recognize the hand of Honorable Mkhaga. Is it a new hand or an old one? Honorable Mkhaga.
Honorable Chair,
Yes.
Honorable Ndalani.
Oh, Honorable Ndalani, okay.
And the week of the 24th clashes with agriculture. I've seen that program. And already we have confirmed in that one. I have confirmed already. And then also Honorable Lucas, she's part of that committee. So if we can just look on another date.
Okay. Thank you, Honorable Ndalane. Can I recognize the hand of Honorable Mkhaga? Honorable Madlala, is your hand a new one or the old one? Honorable Mkhaga?
It seems to be a legacy. Thank you.
Honorable Adams, did you want to say anything? Oh, okay.
No, Chair, I'm covered by all the previous speakers. Thank you.
Okay, no, thank you. Can I recognize Honorable Mtetwa?
Yeah, Chair, I just also wanted to say, take note that on the 27th, there's a joint meeting of Minister of Land and Kokta meeting Amakosi of Transvaal, just so that when we choose the date, that date is also occupied.
Well, if that is the case, honorable members, then it will compel us to actually look for a date in March. Honorable Mkhakha. Honorable Mkhakha. Honorable Matigizela.
I honestly have a problem with pushing this beyond February. We were supposed to do this oversight last year already. We postponed it early this year. I mean, March is pushing a bit too far. I think we must look at the available members of the committee and really some members must prioritize which committees they go to, but it shouldn't stop the work of this committee because some members are serving on other committees, honestly. But I feel like pushing it too much, I mean, is a bit too far. We've been overtaken by events already that have happened in December and January. So I don't think taking it that far is wise.
Well, thank you. Maybe we would have to round robin honorable members to determine those that would not be able to be part of this oversight, and then take it from there. But if we agree in principle that let's actually focus on having this oversight during the week of starting from the 24th, which is a Monday, to Friday the 28th. If we are all agreed on that one, then we will then deal with the issue of who exactly will then be able to attend and who will not be able to attend. Then we take it from there. I personally also feel that taking it beyond February, it will be a bit too far, considering the pace and the speed with which the issues and developments in the Ingonyama Trust are actually taking place. Honorable Mkhakha? No. So I'm not too sure whether I have there is any consensus from members that we are going to stick on the last week of Feb, so that our administration can begin to get the logistical arrangements rolling.
Yes, Chair.
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed, Chair.
Thank you. As regards there was a question of whether, or rather, let me start off by saying, yes, indeed, we need to write a formal letter to the King and apologize that we are not able to meet with him, or that we have actually postponed the oversight visit during the course of the week, even though I actually had, communicated that, but we need to write a formal letter in addition to that. Indeed, it was embarrassing, I must say, especially for me, who have actually formally approached the King and signed letters to come back and say, look, we are not able to undertake that oversight, and it has actually been postponed to a date to be decided upon later. That's not nice. That's odd. That's odd protocol in the scheme of things in our tradition as Africans. So we will write a letter to the King and actually profusely apologize. And I don't know, when we meet him, honorable members, you should not be surprised if we are asked to pay a beast for a fine for failing to honor our request to have an audience with the King. But I'm not too sure whether that will happen. we'll have to find a way of actually handling that matter. Honorable colleagues, I am also going to be having a meeting with the speaker today at 12. But this is not about Ingonyama Trust. It is about the Mandela Foundation. Honorable members will recall that during the I think it was in November, we did get a correspondence from the Mandela Foundation, which was actually threatening to take us and Parliament to court on the basis that Parliament has failed to do certain things they had promised they would do. So we then wrote to the Speaker, I think it was the end of November, wanting clarity on those matters contained in the motion, which actually the Mandela Foundation had actually submitted to the High Court. So, and then we requested to have a meeting with the Speaker, and the Speaker then responded, I think last week also, to say that she can be available today at 12. So I then took that opportunity to say I would be available to meet with her. So after this meeting, I will be meeting with the Speaker. And I'm hoping that an opportunity will present itself to actually sneak in the issue of Ingonyama Trust, so that I could actually also understand the fears of the Speaker and the House Chairperson, around the oversight that the committee had intended to undertake, and also to meet with the King. So I'm just hoping that I would be able to get, find an opportunity to discuss this matter with the Honorable Speaker. So, in the absence of hands to deal with this matter, I then would like to actually introduce the second matter, which was also on the agenda of this meeting. Now, as a consequence of us not going to, yes, yeah.
I'm sorry for pulling you back. I just wanted you to try to finish in your, what do you call it? I wanted to wait for you to summarize, and you have summarized correctly. But there is one issue I would like to raise with the committee, and probably you can give guidance, Chairman, as somebody from KZN and other colleagues from KZN. You'll probably give guidance. Here is the thing. The King has dissolved, as we all know, the King has dissolved the board. As the committee, we are synchronized that the executive authority lies with the minister, and therefore the King couldn't do it. But the fact of the matter is the King has done it. Now, if we go to this oversight, meet with the King, and His Majesty knows that we will be meeting with the board, what, as far as you, particularly colleagues from KZN, what could be an envisaged reaction from the King, knowing that we'll be meeting a board that he has dissolved? And hear me correctly, I'm saying we are synchronized as the committee as where does the executive authority lies. It lies with the minister. It's only the minister who can do so. But clearly, it's not the king's view. What do we do in an event? In an event, His Majesty says, you come to undermine me on my land. I have dissolved these people. You are going to meet the same people that I've dissolved. Thanks.
Point of order.
Yes, Honorable Mahlatsi. Is that Honorable Mahlatsi?
Yes, leadership. Thank you,
Okay.
Chair. Thank you, Chair. I think we must not lose focus now and anticipate and plan what is going to be said. It's very important that we remain neutral here, because as we are sitting here as a committee, we all come from different political parties, and that should be respected. So the most important thing is to ensure that we respect processes, we respect both the king and the minister, and then we hear them, we hear their side of the story, not to plan what if the king say that. We can't say that. I think it's wrong. So let's remain neutral here and do our work as a committee. Thank you, Chair.
Well, thank you, Honorable Mahlatsi. In fact, honorable members, this is the reason why we had planned to meet with the king first before we go to meet the board. After all, we have met the board several times. They have actually expressed their own side of the story. It's just that we had not met the board after after dissolution, but we have not had an opportunity to hear the king. So it was imperative that we actually meet with the king first before we meet the board. We were going to say to the king, in fact, he was aware of our schedule, that we, after meeting with him, we would actually go and meet with the board. And the minister, in his reaction to the dissolution of the board, if you look at his public media release, he did say that as far as he's concerned, as an authority, the board is still in office. So the status of the board right now is that the board is still in office as far as the minister is concerned as the executive authority. Well, but that we are not there as a committee. That's not our cup of tea. All that we want to do is to afford both of them the opportunity to tell us exactly, or to tell us their side of the story, so that we can actually, as a committee, craft our own intervention in this impasse, so that we are not actually accused of or leaning to any kind or any side. We appreciated the minister's stance, as you would remember, honorable members, when he actually briefed us before he left for Germany. He told us that his standpoint on the matter. But that we appreciated that, but we wanted to go and meet with the king to find out his side of the story. What does he understand his role to be, in the whole matter? Honorable Petama, I can recognize your hand.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I do appreciate your careful intervention that we need to maintain impartiality on these matters. But I will be remiss if I don't raise our position on whether, as Honorable Nana says, we are aligned. There is no alignment. There's a dispute where the minister believes, in terms of the law, he can appoint or dismiss the board. And on the other hand, the king says those powers correctly should rest with me. Now, that is the crux of the matter here. And there is no consensus in this committee that the minister should, in fact, exercise those powers in that manner. We are arguing that the law is wrong and it breeds this conflict that we're sitting with. So we must go to this visitation as a study tour to listen to all the parties. But I think I must say that there is no consensus in the committee as to whether the minister should, in fact, exercise the powers that he has been granted, because we believe that is the source of this conflict. And if we are not aware, we will ourselves perpetuate this conflict in perpetuity. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Tachama. I don't think that the king will actually take issue with us meeting with the board after we had met with him. He definitely would have taken issue if we had met with the board and then met with him. Definitely that he would, I can assure the committee that he would really take issue with that. In fact, we would not actually, he would not even be able to grant us that opportunity to have an audience with him. So I don't think that it will be, he would actually frown at us meeting with him and then meeting with the board, because it is important to hear both sides in this matter. Honorable members.
Chairperson?
Oh, yes, Honorable Nana.
Two things. I did write on the chat box that I withdraw my statement now that I understand that we have our bases covered, and the last part of your comment even puts me in more comfortable situation. All that I was raising was us to be careful of a move from our part that could actually endanger the whole process that we wanted to embark on. Secondly, Chairperson, with regards to what Honorable Ngonyama is saying, I don't recall a dispute being lodged in this committee. At least I do attend meetings of this committee. All what I am saying, as things stand, whether you agree or disagree with the law as it stands, all what I'm saying, the executive authority rests with the minister. Whether you disagree or agree with the act as it stands, we as members of parliament, we know what to do when we disagree with a piece of legislation or we want it to be repealed or amended. So I mean, to me, it's a non-starter. Thanks, Chairman.
Oh, thank you, honorable members. I was also going to emphasize the point that, well, it's unfortunate that the law is what it is right now. Well, some people could have actually approached the matter differently as an executive authority. Maybe some other people might have gone to the king and say, in private, king, look here, the law as it stands does not allow you to dissolve the board. Some people feel that that could have been the way to do it rather than going public, because then it created a standoff. You will remember that one of the reactions, the public reaction, was a march, which was actually immediately, after the minister's media release, a march which was organized by Amabuto to go and ensure that there is nobody that disrespects the decision of the king to dissolve the board. So luckily that march actually was stopped. So that is how sensitive these matters are. But nonetheless, the executive authority rests with the minister, and the accounting authority rests with the board. So that actually also, puts us in a situation where we cannot, if the board is still in office, that we cannot avoid seeing the board as an accounting authority of the Ingonyama Trust Board. Thank you, honorable members. That brings us to the end on this particular matter. Now there is a new program. I wonder if the committee secretary can actually present the new program to the committee. Cynthia, are you there? Dr. Manenze, are you? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Good morning. Good morning, Honorable. Yes, I can hear you. Chair, we do not. I'm trying to project it. We do not have a new program.
Okay.
I don't know. Can members see this? This is the program that was approved last year, but we could not change anything because we did not want to preempt the discussion in this meeting. But the input that we received here gives us a sort of information or ideas in terms of how this program can be amended to address the issues that members have raised. Just to highlight some of those, and I'll try and I'll try and see where we can put it here. I'm not trying to rework the program now, but I'm just sharing the idea so that if there is anything that we have missed, members can advise. The first thing, obviously, this week is gone. Next week, with the State of the Nation address, normally a day before, the committees don't meet for a range of reasons. The first meeting in terms of this program was the 12th of February, where the committee was to request the department to address the committee about this matter of Section 25(5) of the Constitution, and how that section advances, the obligation for land redistribution, really. And this links with the litigation that the Mandela Foundation sort of has instituted at the High Court. We want to propose here, Chair, that perhaps we must, we propose that we change this. This is on the basis of or we are informed by the suggestions from the legal service. What Chairperson will remember that what you Chairperson has done on behalf of the committee is to request legal advice or opinion around the matter that is being raised by the Nelson Mandela Foundation. And we thought that that day the legal services was going to brief committee, but they are proposing to us that they are still busy with this process of even including appointing a senior counsel. So there's a lot of work that they are doing around this matter. Ideally, they would not want to come and brief the committee on a matter that they are still engaging on. That leaves that date open. Honorable Lucas made a proposal to the committee and say, well, we must still follow up on other oversight issues. We can't wait for the visit. We must still follow up on other oversight issues that are pending. Another member, I think is Honorable Matias, mentioned the issue around the investigation that was proposed by the minister. And perhaps that is a date where, if the committee agrees, might want to invite the minister to come and, because I think generally I understand that the committee says we oversee the minister is the executive. Can the minister provide update on what has been done to date in preparation for the visit that will be coming towards the end of the month? That's one. The second issue, we will propose listening to members. It is, I feel like it is important that as the committee goes to KZN, these legal questions or legal issues that members have raised here, we must try and create a platform where we begin to read, from the same page, so to speak. For instance, the question about the 1994 Ingonyama Trust Act as a provincial legislation, but then substantially amended in 1997 and being made a national legislation. So basically what was done was reenactment of the same legislation, make it a national legislation. Hence now it is a national parliament that provides oversight. Just the discussion around those, and we can ask legal services to come and brief the committee around these issues, the differences and what this says. Chairperson will also know that we also, through you, Chair, on behalf of the committee, requested legal services to draft some kind of an advice or an opinion around these issues, the powers of the trustee, the sole trustee, the powers of the executive. What does the Act say? That should also be, from a legal point of view, be addressed before the committee. The third issue that I picked up from the discussion was, the question about property, assets, and ownership. Who owns what? So we know that the Ingonyama Isilo, His Majesty, is the trustee, and property and assets vests on the trust. And what does the law say? It's not, how do you view that? It's not owned as a private property. It's not private estate. It's an estate, it's property, it's asset of the people held in trust. Just that discussion. We thought that we could include that on that day so that then we begin to have a clearer understanding. So that's the proposal for the meeting on the 12th, which I propose to members to note that. It's a change that we are proposing. On the 19th, we were proposing to go back to the issue. Here, we know that the CPA Amendment Act, it's now in force. The question was about the state of readiness, given, and we're linking these with the interest of the committee or prioritization on the issues of the CPA. That act makes a lot of, proposals in terms of how the department should support CPAs. That's the state of readiness, in that we would want the department to outline these changes and how they're going to roll them out. But again, follow up on the commitments made by the department on supporting those CPAs in Mpumalanga. So it's an update, it's really response to the recommendations of the committee. Then the week of the Wednesday, the 26th, well, that is the week where members are proposing that let's apply for the oversight visit on that week. We know that in terms of the scheduling by the Office of the House Chair, this committee for this year is not scheduled for oversight in February, because we have these members who sit in this committee and those who sit, and similarly also sitting in the Agriculture Portfolio Committee. So Portfolio Committee on Agriculture and also on Land Reform, they are never scheduled to take oversight at the same time. However, we understand the significance, the urgency, and of this matter. So as a committee said, we're proposing that we change that to include the oversight visit there. So then that means that we can then shift the issue of the labor tenants and the legal aid board to the week of the 5th. And we propose that the 5th be taken out, but we remain with the issue of the District 6 land claim, because from one of the meetings, the committee said it wants to meet all the stakeholders around the District 6 and deal with also the issue of the Solomon's family. That matter, of which is there, this is kind of the briefing to look at the next 5 years. What are the priorities? We can shift it to the next term. I propose, Chair, that we go and redraft and sort of make these amendments informed by today's discussion, and we can present it to the committee when we meet next time for adoption. Or if members are okay with it, they can amend with they can adopt with the amendments I propose. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Manenze. Honorable members, so there are these amendments that are being proposed by our committee following the discussions that we have had today, and also the fact that we were not able to undertake our oversight visit, which has somewhat impacted on our original program. I would welcome comments from honorable members. I don't see hands. Okay, I see the hand of Honorable Adams.
Thank you, Chairperson, and good morning to all members on the platform. Chairperson, yes, when I listened to the inputs on the agenda, I will propose that, as the proposal was also mentioned, that they can go back with this agenda that we discussed and do all the changes. And after doing the changes, we can come together, another meeting call, and then we can discuss the changes that was made so that we can fully adopt the revised program. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Adams. I'm not sure whether the members cannot actually adopt the particular changes that have been proposed now, so that the committee then can go with that kind of confidence that what they are going to be putting on the current program are indeed amendments that we have actually accepted. Honorable Matigizela.
I agree, Chair, with the amendments that are proposed by Udo.
Thank you. There is procedurally, Doctor cannot actually propose to this committee. He was actually tabling the possible amendments, and somebody must actually propose their adoption. And I think Honorable Adams actually was doing that. Can I take it that Honorable Adams was actually doing the proposing the adoption of these amendments, and that Honorable Matigizela was actually supporting the proposal?
Yes, Chair.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
Chair.
you, Honor.
Yes, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, honorable members. The 12th, the meeting of the 12th would actually have its plate very full. I'm looking at the issues there, because we'll be getting an update from the minister, the legal issues around the ITB, and we are going to be inviting the legal services to come and brief us on that one. And the legal opinion around the Mandela Foundation issues, and also a discussion on who really owns what in the ITB in terms of in relation to the current legislation as it stands. Also, that would be quite a substantial meeting. Is there anything anything else that members would like to raise? Otherwise, I'm ready to close the meeting.
Chair, sorry. The proposal for the 12th was that we postpone this whole item around Mandela Foundation and focus on the Ingonyama Trust Board, so that we do not have a long
meeting. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Thanks.
But we need to find a slot for the Mandela Foundation issues because they are also very important.
Yes.
Maybe on the 19th, I don't know. We could actually find some slot there for the Mandela Foundation issues, or even the 5th of March, if that would not be too late. I don't know.
Chair, can we request that we liaise with legal services?
Okay.
As they requested that they want to finish just all the administrative issues around this matter, even appointing a senior counsel. So we request that we engage with them and find when will be the best time on their side.
Okay. No, thank you.
What we can do, which I think we've already done, but we can send, the notice of motion and, what is it that the foundation is asking the court, so that members in the meantime, they are aware, they're fully informed about what is it that the case is all about.
Okay. No, thank you so much. Thank you, Doc. Honorable members, I thank you once again for making time to be part of this meeting. Thank you for your contributions. Thank you so much. It has indeed enriched the work of this committee and the planning going forward. Thank you so much. The meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, Chair. Bye.
Thank you,
Thank you,
man.
Chair.
Thanks, Chairman.
Thanks, honorable members.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
No, hope to meet next week, both of you in one piece. Thank you.
Oh, I will not be there. I will be in Lusaka for SADC PF chairperson. I will say apology. Yes.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Let's look as
Yes, I can see that. Thanks a lot.
no,
Thank you. Thank you.